Okay, guys, this is video number 2. You should have done the do now, make a list first. If you accidentally went to the second video first, please go back and watch the first video and do the first assignment. So let's go over the vocabulary for the story Out of the Death Zone. The first word is acclimatize. This is probably a new word for most of you. To acclimatize is to adjust or change to fit a new climate or environment. If you move from somewhere that is always warm to somewhere that gets cold in the winter, it might take you a while to acclimatize. In other words, for your body to get used to the cold so you don't feel like you need to wear a zillion layers all winter. Acclimatize can also mean to get used to a new situation. If you switch to a new school, you'll probably need some time to acclimatize, get used to it. Next word is altitude. Altitude is the distance above a surface on a planet, usually sea level. Sea level is the average level of the surface of Earth's oceans. So think of sea level as 0. So if I was going to weigh myself on a scale, the scale would be at 0 when I stepped on it. If I was going to measure something, I would measure from the end of the ruler. That's the 0. So think of the sea level as the 0. That's what they use to measure up in the air. Altitude is different from height. Height is measured from the bottom to the top of someone or something. For example, your height is the same whether you are standing on the ground, at the top of a mountain, or in a plane flying over the mountain, because your height is measured from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head. But on the mountain, you are at a higher altitude than on the ground. In the plane, you're at an even higher altitude. The next one is expedition. An expedition is a journey, often by a group of people for a specific purpose, such as exploration or research. Scientists might go on an expedition to the Arctic to study polar bears. An organized trip to climb Denali, the highest mountain in North America, is a Denali expedition. Expedition can also refer to a group of people traveling together for adventure. So you could say, the expedition arrived in the Arctic 2 weeks ago. Final one is glacier. You should be familiar with glacier from fourth grade social studies. A glacier is made of snow that over time is compressed into a very large, thick mass of ice. You see that right over here. Here's a glacier. Glaciers flow like rivers, but they move very slowly. And if you remember from fourth grade social studies, uh, you know, back during the ice ages, the glaciers are what carved the land. So now let's answer some questions based on those words. So the first question is, as a plane takes off, it goes from a lower altitude to a higher altitude, or B, a higher altitude to a lower altitude. Take a minute to think and choose your answer in your head. And the correct answer is a lower altitude to a higher altitude. Next one. Antonio and Maricel's grandma leaves them in the kitchen to peel the potatoes for Thanksgiving dinner. When their grandma comes to check on their progress 10 minutes later, she says, "Wow, you two are moving at a glacial pace." You can guess that Antonio and Maricel, A, are almost done peeling the potatoes, or B, have hardly peeled any potatoes at all. So in your head, think about what you think is the right answer. And the correct answer is B, have hardly peeled any potatoes at all. A glacier moves slowly. So therefore, a glacial pace would be very slow. Next, Lulu just moved from Alaska to Arizona with her people, and she is not into the hot weather. Her people say they hope that as time goes by, Lulu will acclimatize. What do they mean? So think about that for a minute. And the correct answer, they mean they hope Lulu will get used to the hot weather and not feel so uncomfortable. Next, which photo shows an expedition? A or B? Again, think about it for a second and then choose your answer in your head. And the correct answer is B. So what you're going to do now is go back into the Out of the Death Zone folder. The second assignment here, or link, if you click on that, this is just a Google presentation that I gave you the definitions. Give it a second to load. Okay, and I basically just gave you the slides that we went over for each definition, for each word. So back in Schoology, you're going to click on Out of the Death Zone vocab matching. Yours will be different. You'll see this page, start new attempt. And then you're going to match the word with its correct definition. So whatever you think is the correct definition, you'll type the letter right there, review your answers, and then submit. Okay, again, you'll get graded on this. So make sure that you go back and look at the words and toggle back and forth to help you. And you should get 100 on this assignment. It should be pretty easy for you. Okay, once you're done with this assignment, you'll then go and watch video number 3 when you're done.